My brother scoffed. Your kid is not going anywhere. He's just a loser son. The room went quiet, then awkward. My 14-year-old son stopped eating. Then I replied, If I'm a loser, then I'll stop paying your rent and bills starting today. My brother's wife's face went pale. And then I never thought Thanksgiving dinner would be the day I'd finally snap at my own brother. But here's the thing. When someone insults your child right in front of you, something primal just takes over. I'm Melinda. I'm 38, and I've been the family's unofficial ATM for the past 3 years. But that dinner that changed everything. My brother is 2 years younger than me. We used to be tight growing up in Ohio, but after he married 5 years ago, things shifted. He started looking at me like I owed him something just because I worked hard and made decent money as a financial analyst. 3 years ago, my brother called me panicking about eviction. What was I supposed to do? He's my brother, so I started paying his rent. $1, $200 a month. Then his car repairs, his electric bills, his wife's salon equipment. It never stopped, and I kept paying like an idiot. My son Tyler was 11 when this started. His dad left when he was 6, and I was determined Tyler would have everything he needed. Now at 14, Tyler's this brilliant kid who wants to be an architect. He sketches buildings, constantly watches documentaries about urban planning. He's smart, sensitive, and absolutely does not deserve what happened at that dinner. We always gathered at my parents' house in Cleveland for Thanksgiving. Mom and Dad divorced when I was 12, but stayed friendly enough to co-host holidays. It was chaotic but warm, the one day we pretended to be functional. This year, Mom had pulled me aside weeks before. Melinda, 3 years is a long time to be helping him. When does it end? I didn't have an answer. Because here's the truth. While I was paying their bills, I told Tyler, maybe next year, about the $2 500 architecture summer camp he desperately wanted. Do you think that was fair? Because I was starting to realize it wasn't. So there we were around Mom's table. Mom, Dad, my stepdad's wife, Susan, my cousin Rachel from Pittsburgh, my brother, his wife, their 9-year-old daughter, Sophia, Tyler, and me. Turkey stuffing the works. Everything seemed normal at first. Then Dad asked Tyler about his college plans. Tyler's face lit up talking about MIT, about their architecture program, about buildings and design. Everyone was listening, smiling. My kid was glowing, except my brother was on his 3rd glass of wine, getting loud and flushed. MIT, he snorted. That's rich. The table went quiet. I felt my stomach drop. What's that supposed to mean? I asked carefully. He leaned back with his ugly smirk. Come on, Melinda. Let's be realistic here. Your kid is not going anywhere. He's just a loser's son. The room went completely silent, like someone had hit pause on life itself. Tyler stopped mid-bite. His fork froze in the air. I watched my son's face crumble. This kid who'd been smiling 2 seconds ago. His eyes dropped to his plate, and I saw his jaw clench the way it does when he's trying not to cry. What is wrong with you? My sister-in-law hissed, her face going red. But the damage was done. My 14-year-old son sat there staring at his untouched food shoulders, hunched like he wanted to disappear. And my brother, my own brother, who I'd been supporting for 3 years, had just called my child a loser's son, called me a loser in front of everyone. Mom's hand went to her mouth. Dad looked like he wanted to flip the table. Rachel's eyes were wide with shock. Even little Sophia looked confused and scared. Something in me just snapped. I put my napkin down very carefully. My hands were shaking, but my voice came out ice cold. If I'm a loser, I said, slowly looking him dead in the eye. Then I'll stop paying your rent and bills starting today. His wife's face went completely pale, like all the blood just drained out of it. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. He blinked, the wine fog clearing for just a second. What? You heard me, I continued, my voice getting stronger. I'm done. No more rent, no more car payments, no more bailing you out. If I'm such a loser, you clearly don't need my loser money, right? Melinda, wait, she started, her voice panicked. Do you have any idea? I cut her off. How much money I've given you? 2 over $50, 000 in 3 years. $50, 000. While I've been telling my son we can't afford things he wants because I'm too busy keeping your roof over your heads. My brother was starting to look sober now, his face shifting from smug to worried. I didn't mean it like that. How exactly did you mean it? Dad's voice boomed from the end of the table, because it sounded pretty damn clear to me. You just insulted your sister, who's been keeping you afloat, and your nephew at my dinner table. That boy has more ambition and intelligence in his little finger than you've shown in years. Mom added, her voice shaking with anger. She reached over and squeezed Tyler's hand. Tyler, honey, don't you listen to him for 1 second. Tyler still wasn't looking up. His face was bright red, and I could see a tear slip down his cheek. My heart absolutely shattered. What would you have done in that moment? Because I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something. Instead, I stood up and gently touched Tyler's shoulder. Come on, sweetheart, we're leaving. Melinda, please. She was standing now, tears in her eyes. He's drunk. He didn't mean it. You can't just... I absolutely can, I said, helping Tyler out of his chair. And I am. You want to know what happens next? You figure out December's rent on your own. And January's. And every month after that. He finally found his voice, and it was desperate. Just come on. Don't do this. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. But I was already grabbing our coats. Rachel jumped up too. I'm coming with you, she said firmly, shooting him a disgusted look. As we headed to the door, I heard Dad's voice behind us. You've got a lot of nerve, son. A lot of nerve. The three of us sat in my car in Mom's driveway. Tyler was crying now, really crying, and Rachel was in the back seat rubbing his shoulder while I held him. Mom, he choked out, am I really, is he right? No, I said fiercely, pulling him close. Absolutely not. You are brilliant and talented, and you're going to do amazing things. Uncle is bitter about his own life, and he took it out on you. That's on him, not you. Never you. Rachel leaned forward between the seats. Tyler, I went to MIT, and you know what? You're exactly the kind of student they want. Don't let anyone tell you different. Imagine having to comfort your child because your own family member tore him down. Can you imagine that? My phone started buzzing. Mom calling, then Dad, then her 5 times in a row. I declined them all. I wasn't ready to talk. Not yet. What I was ready for was to finally stop being everyone's safety net while they disrespected me and my son. We drove to Rachel's hotel and she invited us up, ordered room service, put on a movie Tyler liked. Slowly he started to come back to himself, but I could see something had changed in his eyes. He'd been hurt deeply by someone he trusted, and that I couldn't forgive. Rachel waited until Tyler fell asleep on the hotel couch before she turned to me. You know they're panicking right now, right? Their rent is due in like a week. I know, I said flatly. And you're really done. Actually done. I looked at my son sleeping there still in his nice shirt, his face puffy from crying. Yeah, Rachel, I'm really done. What do you think? Did I do the right thing? Because that night, lying awake in that hotel room, I kept replaying Tyler's face when those words were said. And I knew whatever happened next, I'd made the right choice. But them, they were about to learn exactly how much this loser had been holding their lives together. The next morning, my phone had 23 missed calls, 17 texts, even a voicemail from my brother's landlord. Apparently, they'd given him my number as an emergency contact. That's how dependent they'd become on me. I ignored all of it. Rachel took us out for breakfast, and Tyler was quieter than usual. He kept checking his phone, then looking at me nervously. What is it, honey? I asked. Uncle texted me, he said quietly. He said he's sorry and that he was just joking around. My blood boiled. Joking? Did it feel like a joke to you? Tyler shook his head, eyes down. No. Then it wasn't a joke. Don't let him rewrite what happened. I squeezed his hand. You don't owe him anything, Tyler, not even a response. Rachel nodded approvingly. Your mom's right. He's trying to manipulate you because he knows he messed up. By Monday, reality was hitting them hard. She called from a number I didn't recognize. I picked up by accident. Melinda, please. We need to talk. The rent is due in 3 days and we don't have it. We'll be evicted. That sounds like a you problem now, I said calmly. How can you be so cruel? We have a daughter. Sophia will be homeless because of you. That made me laugh. She laughed. Because of me, I'm not the one who insulted a child at Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not the one who's been living off his sister for 3 years while treating her like garbage. You want to talk about Sophia? I've been supporting her too, while sacrificing things for my own son. He was drunk. People say stupid things when they're drunk. And I say stupid things like yes when people ask me for money. But guess what? I'm sober now. I paused. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to figure out your own life. Get second jobs, downsize, move in with family. I don't care, but I'm done. She started crying. Please, Melinda, I'm begging you. Did you beg him to apologize to Tyler? Did you stand up for my son even once? Silence. That's what I thought. Goodbye. I hung up and immediately blocked the number. But here's where my revenge really started. Because I wasn't just cutting them off. I was making sure everyone knew exactly why. Remember how I mentioned I'm a financial analyst? Well, I'm pretty good with numbers and documentation. Over the past 3 years, I'd kept every single receipt, every Venmo transaction, every bank transfer. I had it all organized in a spreadsheet. So I sent it to my parents, to Rachel, To my brother's in-laws, her parents who lived 2 hours away and were always bragging about how successful their daughter's life was. The spreadsheet showed everything. $52,847 in total, broken down by month, by category, rent, utilities, car repairs, credit card payments, even groceries I bought them. And at the bottom I added one line, total amount repaid $0. Then I wrote a group email. Professional, calm, factual. For 3 years, I've been supporting my brother and his family financially while working full-time and raising my son alone. I did this out of love and family loyalty. Last Thursday at Thanksgiving dinner, my brother called my 14-year-old son a loser's son in front of our entire family. When Tyler asked me later if his uncle was right about him, my heart broke. I've decided I will no longer enable someone who treats my child and me with such disrespect. They are adults and can figure out their own lives. I wanted you all to understand why I've made this decision. Do you think that was too much? Because honestly, I was just getting started. Within hours, my phone exploded. But this time, it wasn't them. It was everyone else. Her parents called me mortified. We had no idea they were taking that much money from you. We would have helped them ourselves. Did you know what he said to Tyler? I asked. Her mother's voice got quiet. She told us, yes, it's inexcusable. We're horrified. Apparently, her parents immediately called them and tore into them. Told them they were ashamed. Said if they needed money, they should have asked their own parents, not bled me dry. My dad called next. Melinda, I'm proud of you. You should have cut him off years ago. Even Mom, who usually tried to keep the peace, was on my side. He needs to learn consequences, real ones. But the best part, my brother's boss somehow got wind of what happened. See, he'd been working at a family-owned hardware store for the past year, his longest job in a while. The owner, Mr. Peterson, was big on family values, community, all that. He and his wife knew me because I'd helped them with some tax paperwork once. Apparently, someone I suspect Rachel ran into Mrs. Peterson at the grocery store and mentioned what happened. Small-town energy, even in a city. The next day, my brother got called into Mr. Peterson's office. I only know this because he called me furious. Did you tell my boss about Thanksgiving? He just lectured me for 30 minutes about respecting family and said he's disappointed in me. He's watching me now, Melinda. If I screw up even once, I'm gone. I didn't tell him anything, I said honestly, but the truth has a way of getting around. Maybe don't publicly humiliate people if you don't want to face consequences. You're destroying my life. No, I said coldly. I'm just not saving it anymore. There's a difference. He hung up on me. By Wednesday rent day, I got a call from Rachel. She was laughing. You need to hear this. I just saw them at the bank. They were trying to take out a loan and got denied. She was crying in the parking lot. Good, I said simply. Melinda, you've become ice cold. I love it. But I wasn't done. That weekend, I did something I'd been putting off for 3 years. I took Tyler to visit MIT. Used the money I would have sent them that month, $1,200, and we drove up to Boston, toured the campus, met with an admissions counselor who was incredibly encouraging, took Tyler to see the architecture buildings, the studios where students worked. You should have seen his face, the wonder in his eyes, the hope coming back. Mom, he whispered, as we stood looking at a student's model of a building design. I can really do this, can't I? You absolutely can, I said, hugging him tight, and I'm going to make sure you have everything you need to get there. I posted pictures on Facebook. Tyler smiling in front of the MIT sign. Both of us at a cool architecture exhibit, me beaming with pride. The caption, investing in a future architect. Some dreams are worth everything. My brother saw it. I know he did because within an hour, I got a long text from him. It started with excuses, moved into blame, then ended with this. You're really going to throw away family over one stupid comment. You're going to let our relationship die because I had too much to drink and said something dumb, fine. But don't come crying to me when you need something someday. I read it to Rachel over the phone. Please tell me you responded, she said. Oh, I did. My response was 3 words. I never will. Then I blocked his number too. What do you think? Was I being petty with the MIT photos? Or was I just showing him exactly what his loser son was capable of? Because honestly, watching Tyler's confidence come back, seeing him dream again, that was worth every bit of drama. And my brother was about to realize that the person he'd been leaning on for years wasn't just his safety net. I was also the person who could make his life very, very complicated when pushed too far. And honey, he pushed me off a cliff. 2 months passed. Christmas came and went. We spent it with Rachel and my parents. Tyler got architecture books and seemed happier. I didn't hear from my brother at all. Then mid-January, Dad called. Your brother got evicted. They're moving in with her parents. I felt nothing. Okay. He's working double shifts now. He got a second job. They're really trying Melinda. Good for them. He wants to talk to you face to face. I hesitated. Fine, but Tyler comes with me, and it's somewhere public. We met at a coffee shop the following Saturday. They both looked exhausted. Older somehow. The silence was thick until he finally spoke. I'm sorry, he rubbed his face. I've been thinking a lot. Living with her parents, working constantly, barely making it. I realized I was jealous of you. You worked hard and succeeded, and I didn't. Instead of fixing my life, I just took from yours. He looked at Tyler. And I took it out on you because you reminded me of everything I wasn't. That wasn't fair. Tyler stared at his drink silently. We were entitled, his wife added quietly. We thought you'd always be there, so we never tried. Losing that was terrifying, but necessary. I don't expect forgiveness, he continued, voice cracking, especially from you, Tyler. What I said was cruel and wrong. You're smart and talented, and MIT would be lucky to have you. I'm sorry I made you doubt yourself. Part of me wanted to leave, but another part remembered us as kids. Actions matter more than words, I said. He nodded. I'm in therapy now, dealing with the drinking and everything else. I'm keeping both jobs. We're paying her parents' rent, even though they said we don't have to. I looked at Tyler. What do you think? He was quiet, then looked up. You really hurt me. I know, my brother said, and I'm going to prove I'm better now, however long it takes. Tyler nodded slowly. Okay, but I'm not forgetting. You shouldn't, he replied. Remember that people can mess up and still work to be better. We didn't hug or make big promises, but we agreed to try. Over the next months, he actually followed through, stayed sober, showed up to family dinners on time, asked Tyler about his projects, genuinely interested. In March, Tyler got accepted into a summer architecture program with a full scholarship. When I posted about it, my brother commented, "So proud of my nephew. Can't wait to see the buildings you'll design." It was small, but it mattered. By summer, things were better. At Sophia's birthday party, he pulled me aside. I'm never asking you for money again, but I want to ask for forgiveness. Not today, maybe not this year, but eventually. I watched Tyler playing with Sophia, actually smiling around his uncle. You're earning it. Keep going. At Thanksgiving that year, my brother stood up with sparkling cider. No wine anymore. Last year at this table, I said something unforgivable. I hurt my sister and nephew and nearly destroyed our family. But because Melinda stopped enabling me, I finally faced myself. So thank you, sis, for loving me enough to let me fall. He looked at Tyler. And I'm sorry. You're going to do amazing things, and I'll be cheering you on. Everyone clapped. Tyler smiled at me. We okay, Mom? Yeah, baby, we're okay. My brother and I are still rebuilding trust, but he's actually trying now, and that's what matters. Tyler's applying to colleges this year, MIT at the top. And I have real savings now because I'm not funding someone else's life. My loser son is going to change the world someday. And sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying someone. It's letting them fall, watching them rebuild and being there when they finally become who they should have been all along. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this story, I'd really appreciate a like. And if something resonated with you or you think I handled things differently, please share your thoughts in the comments. Your support means everything. Thanks for watching.